For some Sacred Heart students, sports are much more than a game. The Pulse has an inside look on how two international student athletes are adjusting to their home away from home.
Thanks to a generous contribution from an alumnus couple, Sacred Heart has expanded its borders with new state-of-the-art building. We'll tell you what that building has to offer and much more right now on The Pulse.
Hello, I'm Colleen Crowley.
And I'm Anthony Bartnick. Thank you for joining us.
Sacred Heart University is continuing to expand its borders with the addition of new buildings and residential halls. Is this happening too quickly or not quickly enough? Our own Anthony Bartnick brings us the story.
The expansion and growth of Sacred Heart University has made a big impact on the community. I asked student and faculty how they felt about the expansion of the school and the undergoing construction that follows their everyday lives this semester at Sacred Heart.
So as a freshman, I kind of like the expansion of the school because it's I do like the campus small as it is, but I don't mind it getting a little bit bigger. And for the construction, it doesn't really affect me personally right now because I don't have a car on campus. But next year, if this construction is still taking away parking spots, I think it'll become a hassle. But since it's for expanding the school, I think it's gonna be all right because I'm for it.
I think the expansion of the school is good in the long run, but I don't think us having to go through the construction is benefiting us in any way. And we don't get to utilize the new building. And we are actually the class that had to go through it from freshman. When we came in freshman year, we had to go through construction and senior year.
I see our school's expansion as a great undergoing due to the fact that our university as a whole is getting such more recognition than it used to. But the undergoing construction causes a lot of mishaps with cutting off a lot of parking spots and a lot of misuse of time for our university.
So I think the expansion of the campus has been wonderful from the perspective of the dining facilities. We've added a lot of new dining locations for students that will kind of create a lot of new excitement and new menu offerings. We have in the new building, we have an Einstein's Bagel, which I think will really help the students in the new dorms when that's finished for them. We also will be doing a new diner, a 24-hour diner, and I think that will be a wonderful greeting place for all of the students to kind of hang out at all hours. The inconvenience of parking and construction is a little troublesome for everyone. I think we all make arrangements and figure out our day based on commuting to work, but I think in the long run, a couple years of construction is really going to be a great positive outcome when everything is all finished.
This expansion and growth to the school not only helps Sacred Heart as a whole, but brings the community together, student and faculty alike, for future developments in Sacred Heart.
Thanks for that report. It's crazy to see how much Sacred Heart has changed in the last 4 years that we've been here.
Yes, I can't believe our time is coming to a close. For many Sacred Heart students, home is just a car ride away, but for some, it is thousands of miles. Division I athletic teams at Sacred Heart expand their diversity by recruiting student athletes abroad. Nicole Canizaro brings us the story.
Sacred Heart University, better known as SHU, located in Fairfield, Connecticut, might be small, but its diversity is just the opposite. Division I athletics is one of the reasons why the campus has become so diverse, attracting students from throughout the United States and abroad.
My name is Yesra Siatuba. I'm from Zimbabwe.
Hi, my name is Julian. I'm 22. I'm from Germany.
I really like Sacred Heart. I really like the infrastructure and everything and how the students were. I've just been here for 2 years, playing soccer and attending school. I have a host family here I was a very good friend with their child. Now I'm staying with them. They live in Washington, Connecticut. They're a very good family. I have a family back home in Zimbabwe. I Skype them every weekend. I talk to them. If I don't Skype them, I just text my grandmother. I only have a grandmother and 2 cousins. When a kid turns 18 and is out of high school, all he thinks about is playing professional. They never think about going to college. All they think about is going professional. But I had a chance to just come here and experience something different. I just like came here to play soccer in college, which is like much different from like soccer at home. Here we only play like only 6 months in the fall. While it's like at home you play all year round. You only take a break only for like 2 months. I was planning on like finding a job that is like job that is like connected to my major, because like there are a lot of opportunities here in America. Yeah.
This is Ezra's first year on the team, and he has played in all 18 games with 14 starts. Fitting into a new culture and starting over with strangers can be difficult, but with a team by your side, it seems to be a lot easier to adjust and enjoy the American lifestyle.
I made a lot of friends from like the soccer team. They're very friendly. We sometimes we make sure that every lunch we meet before like practice and like have a nice lunch before we go to practice. Here in America, it's not like surprising. It's fun to me. People when they hear that you have a different accent from them, they make sure that they stop you so that they can ask where you're from. I made a lot of friends because of my accent.
Ezra's teammate Julian has played 14 games his first year on the team and has been named team captain for the upcoming season.
I came to SHU in Germany. There are agencies who scout you since you're 16 or stuff like that. They're gonna text you, and they're platforms for coaches in the US. So they can see you, they can email you, they can contact you. I go home twice a year for winter break and obviously summer break. My family is kind of proud of me that I'm here, and it's kind of a big step for me. It's the first time I've ever been far away from home so long. Yeah, my twin sister, we were really close, so it's kind of difficult sometimes. Miss her a lot. The difference between the life here and back home is here it's more relaxed. In Germany it's all pretty strict and you have to have a certain plan what you're gonna do. Here everyone is an athlete. They run a lot, they run with the ball across the field. In Germany we always try to play the ball, we say let the ball do the work. Sometimes I feel a little bit kind of alone because I don't understand every word, so I don't get the whole conversation, and it makes me sometimes stand out, but I'm also included, so it's not that bad. It would be great if I could stay here and get a job, or maybe it would be even better if we're gonna sign a contract for the MLS. But so far it's just a dream, so I try to do the best right now.
The amount of international students coming to Sacred Heart University is growing, and SHU is becoming a second home for people around the world. Being able to be an international student is a blessing, but so is being able to have them as a part of our community.
Thank you for that report, Nicole. When we come back, we'll take a look at how the new Business and Communications Center came to be. Stay tuned.
The Freshman Fall Abroad program provides an opportunity to gain a strong bond with a cohort of select freshmen. It also includes carefully managed housing, a specialized curriculum, an opportunity to experience our global campuses and our Sacred Heart programming abroad early on. Freshman Fall Abroad locations in Dingle, Ireland, and Rome, Italy. Our partner university in Rome, Italy is John Cabot University. They are an American institution operating in the country for over 50 years. The Freshman Fall Abroad program in Dingle, Ireland is at our own global campus, the Sacred Heart campus, and we have been in Dingle in the community for over 10 years.
The two locations are very different. One is obviously a large city, lots of people, and Dingle is much more rural and small.
The Freshman Fall Abroad program courses are core courses. They fulfill requirements that students need in their degree programs and to graduate. Courses do vary across locations. If an incoming accepted Sacred Heart student would like to become a part of the Freshman Fall Abroad program, they're already accepted. All they have to do is register through our website, indicate which program they are interested in, and fill out brief paperwork. Additionally, full-time faculty and staff members are here for you at Fairfield and abroad to guide you through your first semester. We also have our Global Ambassador program. Those are returned study abroad students that are dedicated to keeping you connected to the Sacred Heart experience, as well as supporting you during your time abroad and when you come back. For the incoming students that are interested in participating in a freshman fall abroad program at either our Dingle or Rome locations, I highly encourage it. Returned students have indicated that it has helped them grow, expand, gain an international opportunity very early on. It is also a way to develop a strong cohort of friends, other freshmen on the program, to see the world, to gain that international perspective, and to really enhance your initial Sacred Heart experience.
Welcome back to The Pulse.
For alumnus couple Frank and Marisa Materi, their mark on Sacred Heart was not complete when they graduated. Their large financial contribution to the new building built in their honor is going to impact the community greatly. Let's take a look.
On March 14th, 2015, the highly anticipated Business and Communications Center was ready to be presented to students, faculty, and alumni. Frank and Marisa Materi made a major contribution to the new Business and Communications Center that is named after them. This new building will provide great opportunities for media studies students as well as the business department.
And I know we all say the same thing. It's the building's really nice, but it's about the people, it's about the students. But at the end of the day, that's who it is about. It's about these great students who are here and the future they're going to have. And maybe we make a little bit of difference. And if you can make a difference in one person's life, I always felt, then you made a difference in the world.
Sacred Heart President Dr. John Patillo gave the Materi family and the new facility high praise.
This facility will clearly make a difference in the lives of our students. The gathering places, the learning places outside the classroom that just are throughout this building. So Frank and Marisa, your gift was and will be transforming. Not just because we were able to put in this brick and mortar, but because it will change lives.
Associate Professor and Media Arts Coordinator Dr. Sarah Ross, along with Adjunct Instructor Keith Stryovi, shed light on the huge improvements to the Media Studies Department.
Well, in our department, we've always made a strength of our relationships with our students and figuring out how to make the most of the facilities that we had, which have in the past has not been a lot. We have one room that serves as our studio and our screening room, and we're trying to fulfill all these functions with it. And so we've had to make a strength of making do with what we had.
It's always been in the back of my head for the last 2 years, and now that it's here, you know, it was something I wanted to jump onto and I got involved with right away. In the planning process, I was part of that, and then this opportunity to be the broadcast center supervisor where I get to help students with the 2 new studios that we have is just a great opportunity. I'm really excited about it.
The Discovery Gala, an annual fundraiser for Sacred Heart, was an opportunity to show off the Materi building to alumni. The new building and its facilities will ensure that the Department of Communication and Media Studies will continue to grow. The more events the new building hosts, the more exposure Sacred Heart will have as a university in the long run, as well as honor the students from both departments.
8 years ago, I wanted to take a once-in-a-lifetime trip. I was 14 years old when I first traveled to the developing country of Haiti to do sustainability and developmental work with the village people of Dessau.
The night was capped off with an unforgettable Michael Jackson Billie Jean tribute.
I think this is a great time to come to Sacred Heart for communications because we've always had the students that have been really passionate and great. We've always had this faculty that really care about what they're doing, and now we have this facility to match that. And you know, the sky's the limit for students here.
There's so many moving parts in a lot of these productions. And if communication media studies is what you want to get into as a career, learning how to work with people is crucial.
Thank you for that report, Ricky. What may be waste to some could be of value to others. A remarkable woman with a creative streak turns old objects into new vintage-inspired jewelry. Stephanie Adams brings us the story.
Quiet Applegate Road is home to many Fairfield residents, but to entrepreneur Connie Cusick, it's more than just home. It's also the center of operations for her own jewelry line called Proof. Proof is no ordinary line. Every custom piece of jewelry features an antique article that she collects from flea markets and consignment shops. From hotel door numbers to belt buckles, each has a past and a story to call all its own.
I've always loved vintage items. My grandmother's loved them as well. I used to go through her jewelry boxes, and then after I had kids, I started a handbag business, and I used the vintage items on the handbags. And then like the buckles, I use these buckles. And then I decided to make some jewelry out of it, and I got into Henry Vindel's in New York City, and they loved it, and I've been doing it ever since.
One can't help but notice Connie's warm glow when she describes her successes and happiest moments in her business.
I would say getting into Vindel's, and then the same day, a girl behind me had her own clothing line from France, and she also took 25 pieces back to her store in France the same day. So I'd say that was probably the best thing that ever happened so far.
Connie has a deep resilience about her and an impressive work ethic. She also offers wise words to anyone looking to turn their passions into a career.
I'm sure time is all, you only have 24 hours in a day, and I have 2 kids, but I'm a late nighter, so it works for me. I'm able to, work all night till 2 and then get up at 6. When you're passionate about something, there is no time. You just love doing it so much that you make it all work.
However, no success comes without difficulty or sacrifice.
I would just say being one person, I make the jewelry, then having to market it and sell it. It's just being only one person, it's a lot to do.
To Connie, her jewelry line is many things.
It means a strength and beauty. I just feel like there's a history behind every piece because it is vintage. You can imagine someone walking into a ball wearing these in the 1800s. A lot of the pieces come from France and England from the 18 and 1900s. So for me, each piece is special, and I feel like it has like a vibe and a story.
A vibe and a story. Stephanie Adams, The Pulse, Fairfield.
Thank you for that report, Stephanie. When we come back, The Pulse brings you a look at the evolution of volunteer programs at Sacred Heart. Stay tuned. Welcome back to The Pulse. An office on campus making big news for this student involvement is the Office of Volunteer Programs and Service Learning. Ashley Nordone brings us the story.
Sacred Heart's mission statement encompasses community service as one of its main aspects. Sacred Heart students have donated over 60,000 hours of community service yearly. Senior Tom Bavino has been a member of the Office of Volunteer Programs and Service Learning for 3 years and has watched the office change in many ways.
We're actually in volunteer programs right now as we're filming. This office was not here my freshman year. We were in the HC Glass Lounge. And it was just this big room. It was very unorganized. The head of volunteer programs sat at a desk, and then the GAs were on the other side, and then the work study. So it was kind of just like everywhere. It wasn't really organized. And then going through my sophomore and junior year, this office is brand new, and just to see the change and difference and like how much more it's organized is just phenomenal. Programs are more structured. The office setting is more structured. And just everything about volunteer programs has just grown.
The office is not the only thing that has changed. Student involvement has increased in the past few years. Matthew Kay, director of the Office of Volunteer Programs and Service Learning, has seen the increased interest in students wanting to participate in community service.
I think it's important to understand that faculty continue to get more involved and really connect the mission of the university and social justice and service to their coursework. So a lot more students are going into the community on a weekly basis, whether they're working at a soup kitchen, they're working for Habitat for Humanity, working for Daughters of Charity preschool program. These types of programs have regularly increased in numbers, the number of students participating, and the number of hours and time that students are engaged.
The weekly sign-ups are not the only thing that is popular in this office. The pre-fall program Community Connections is too. Tom's involvement in the Office of Volunteer Programs and Service Learning has sprung from being a part of the program.
Coming in my freshman year, I did Community Connections. It's a pre-fall program where they recruit about 48 incoming freshmen, and you live in Bridgeport throughout the week at 2 different churches. And basically what you do is you just do community service in Bridgeport, and you learn more about the culture. And along the way, you get to meet other classmen, you meet upperclassmen, and you learn a lot about yourself. So that is something that was a chain reaction for me when I got to Sacred Heart. Like, that opened up all the doors, that opened up my eyes to all the opportunities that I've taken advantage of while being at SHU.
Matthew Kay also talks about the prestigious Habitat for Humanity program that Sacred Heart has on this campus.
Aspects of the university that can't be overlooked is we have one of the most dynamic Habitat for Humanity clubs in the country, and that's through Student Life. And we also have our athletic conference champions in service hours performed, and they have hands down won consistently year after year. So it's not just an Office of Volunteer Programs and Service Learning initiative, it is a university-wide initiative, and we're part of that.
For The Pulse, I'm Ashley Nardone, reporting live from the Office of Volunteer Programs and Service Learning.
Thank you for that report, Ashley. What happens when a singer can no longer sing? Georgia Palladino brings us the report of a Sacred Heart student who had to give up her dreams of being in the spotlight.
But I swear someday there'll be a celebration throughout Oz that's all to do with me.
Samantha Woolman, a senior at Sacred Heart University, was always a talented singer. Since she started singing, she had performed in 16 shows, in which only 2 she didn't have a lead role in. Unfortunately, performing in theater may not be in her future.
So freshman year, I found out I had vocal nodules, which is tissue mass that develops on your vocal cords. It affects the vibration of your vocal cords to not work how they're supposed to, and it creates hoarseness in your voice. It can cut your range in half, deepen your voice, and it is caused mostly by misuse or overuse of your voice.
When Samantha had found out about her vocal nodules, she didn't let that stop her from participating in the Sacred Heart University's Theater Arts program.
When I found out, I was the lead at the time in Spring Awakening, so I didn't realize how big of an effect it would have on me because I still made it through that show sounding mostly how I've always sounded. But as months after that show, into the summer and into the next year, I really started realizing how much it was affecting my voice. My range was cut in half, and at this point I can honestly barely sing at all.
Not really sure how to feel about it. Something in the way you move makes me feel like I can't live without you.
She did go to doctors to see if there was anything she would be able to do to save her voice. However, all they did was give her advice on what not to do to make the nodules worse. Other than that, the only other option is surgery.
Depending on the size of the vocal nodules, they do offer surgery. When I went freshman year, they weren't big enough, and I never went back since then. They may be big enough, but the risk with the surgery is either your voice goes back to normal or you sound like a completely different person. You can lose your vocal range completely.
Even though Samantha didn't get the surgery, she didn't let that stop her from being a part of the theater arts program. When casting calls were sent out for the show Sweeney Todd, Sam knew she wanted to take the chance and audition.
When I auditioned, the director said, "Your voice sounds back to normal." But I had to tell him that I wouldn't feel comfortable getting a lead because I can wake up one morning and sound completely fine, back to normal, and then I wake up the next day and I sound like I just smoked 3 packs of cigarettes, and I never know what I'm gonna sound like when I wake up, and therefore I could never put myself in a position where I need to count on my voice every day. I need to rehearse every day. I need to perform and be the lead, and I don't know that I'll ever be able to take on any of those roles ever again.
Coming to the end of her college career, Samantha doesn't know if she will ever push herself to sing again.
It's hard to picture my life without doing shows. There's only been 1 year since I was 8 that I wasn't in a musical, or 2 or 3 that year. So graduating this year, I think it may be hard to be involved in theater regardless of what happened to my voice, just because it's not offered. I'm not going to be going to school. The fact that I do have a problem with my voice is definitely going to discourage me from doing maybe community theater, because it's something that I'm gonna always have to deal with. Maybe I could get the surgery, but I don't know that it's worth it now that I'm not gonna be involved in a theater program.
Thank you for that report, Georgia. And that's all the time we have for today. I'm Anthony Bartnick.
And I'm Colleen Crowley. This show is produced by the TV News Magazine class at Sacred Heart University. Signing off for the last time from the old production studio, on behalf of all of us, thank you for watching. Until next time, this is The Pulse.
Audio Jungle.